Cool. All right, let's get started. So, good day, everyone. Welcome to today's LinkedIn Live session on the topic Let AI Do the Work Smarter Ways to Attract Top Talent. I'm Chavi, Content Manager at Recruit CRM, and I'll be moderating today's session. While I'll mostly be behind the scenes, our expert will be taking the spotlight. Joining us today is Debi Easterday. Let me give you a quick introduction about Debi. She's the founder and CEO of H2B Consulting, where she focuses on creating perfect human to business matches. With over 25 years of experience in recruiting, Debbie has worked across industries like technology, life sciences, healthcare, and more. She specializes in full life cycle recruiting from sourcing to post placement engagement and is passionate about ensuring that both candidates and businesses thrive in the right environment. So, welcome, Debbie. Do you want to say a quick hi to the audience and a bit about what we'll be diving into today?
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Chavi. I'm Debi Easterday, and pretty much today we're going to be talking about letting AI do the work. We're going to review some smarter ways that we can attract talent, and we're going to be covering four main points in this space. Number one, how AI can make targeted outreach a little easier. Second, we're going to talk about the magic behind personalizing your outreach. We're also going to talk about how you can use AI to leverage job market data to create more strategic campaigns. And then finally, we'll close out by talking about some simple steps that you can take to start automating your own recruitment process.
All right, awesome, Debbie. I think that's it. We can get started with the session.
All right, beautiful. Well, this presentation is really structured. You're not going to come out with a full end-to-end automation plan here, but this presentation is really structured to illustrate how automation and AI-driven marketing strategies, when you couple them with relationship-first approach, can really help to reshape your candidate attraction and also ultimately your recruitment success and your strategy. So let's get started. When I first started recruiting, it was over 25 years ago, and the recruiting strategy that most companies shared was post and pray. And basically this method, it meant that the recruiter posts the position on a job board or on their company website, and then they prayed to God that the perfect candidate would see that ad and feel compelled to apply. So it's clearly fully reactive, this approach to recruiting. But back in the day, that worked because we didn't have the oversaturation that we do in today's job market. Gradually, the post and pray method evolved slightly, and it became spray and pray. And the spray and pray recruiting method was basically high volume, low targeting approach to hiring, where the instinct or the logic, I guess, is if you throw enough darts at the dartboard, eventually you'll hit a bullseye. So instead of carefully identifying and engaging the right candidate pools, recruiters or their hiring managers were just blasting out job positions or sending emails to a crazy number of people. And then again, going back to praying that the right candidate sees the outreach and is motivated to apply or to respond. Both the spray and pray and the post and pray recruiting methods, they share that fundamental philosophy that we're relying on volume and hope rather than focusing in on being strategic and recruiting with a level of precision. So both are very passive, hope-based recruiting tactics. And we have seen the evolution to where we are today, which is more of a proactive, relationship-driven, strategic recruiting focus. In 2003, LinkedIn was born. And for the first time, it became really possible for recruiters to incorporate search into their recruitment strategies. And that was a game changer because it helped recruiters really evolve from this volume-driven philosophy to more of a precision-driven strategy. You flash forward a few years to 2010s, and the buzzwords were all about social media and employer branding, and then some advanced sourcing tools emerged on the scene. And that really pushed recruiters to engage talent in a more proactive light. So this is when targeted recruiting became kind of the mainstream expectation. Um, targeted recruiting is basically focusing on quality over quantity. And it really involves identifying and engaging and nurturing the right candidates and creating candidate pools that are logical, and then engaging them with very tailored and personalized outreach. Then we flash forward to the 2020s, and here we are today talking about AI and data analytics and recruitment marketing automation, which are all wonderful tools. And they make kind of a hyper targeted candidate attraction that new gold standard for recruiting. We refer to this today as precision recruiting. So AI is basically what turned targeted recruiting into precision recruiting. Because for the first time, instead of recruiters having to manually hunt down every candidate profile, AI is now doing a lot of that heavy lifting for us, which is fantastic because it frees up time for us to engage candidates in a more personalized way. Precision recruiting allows recruiters to do three major things. First, it allows them to zero in on exact talent pools that they want to contact. The second thing that precision recruiting does is it allows for scaled outreach without losing some sense of personalization. And the final thing that precision recruiting does is it really allows us, again, to spend more time on relationship building activities instead of sourcing or wasting time with administrative functions. So, how does AI make targeting easier? We'll start here. There are several different ways. The first being it's smarter candidate matching. So AI can scan hundreds of resumes and profiles and applications at scale. And then it really matches candidates to roles based on not just keywords, but skills and experience and career trajectory. It can also surface hidden fits, candidates that have adjacent skills or transferable skills who could easily pivot into this position, even though they haven't held that specific title in the past. Another way that AI can make targeting easier is automated sourcing across multiple platforms. So instead of searching LinkedIn and then going to job boards one by one, AI sourcing tools can actually pull candidates from disparate systems. So scanning across multiple databases and social networks. And even if it's integrated, you can even scan through your own applicant tracking system or CRM system. So instead of spending hours and hours on the sourcing function, recruiters are able to actually get short lists of pre-vetted candidates within minutes, and then they can work from that candidate list. Another way that AI makes targeting easier is it uses predictive analytics. And predictive analytics are basically, it's basically AI forecasting which candidates are going to be most likely to actually open your poke on LinkedIn, or which candidates might be in general more open to a new opportunity or to making a move. And it basically does this by using signals, job tenure patterns, industry layoffs. If someone all of a sudden has an uptick in their engagement activity on LinkedIn, that would signal them as being potentially a little bit more open to making a move. So this helps recruiters prioritize their outreach so they know where it's going to land best, and so that they are more likely seeing this convert to an actual conversation. Another way that AI can make targeting easier is it provides the ability to deliver hyper personalization at scale. So imagine you've got 500 to 1,000 resumes in front of you. AI-driven tools can really help analyze candidate backgrounds and their interests, and even online activity. And it helps to suggest personalized messages for outreach so that you're not reverting back to the old spray and pray spam approach, where you're sending out the exact same message to all 500 or 1,000 candidates, and the only thing that you've changed is the candidate's name. If that's your approach, you're doing it wrong. So hyper personalization at scale is another way. Another way that we can kind of make targeting a little bit easier is we now have the ability to use programmatic advertising. So in recruitment marketing, this is basically where AI sets job ads to just automatically adjust where the jobs are placed and the bidding in real time. So this is going to help us to actually put ads in front of the right candidates instead of broadcasting our job or our new requirements to very generalized or broad audiences. So it's going to look at candidates based on skills and demographics and browsing behavior or past applications, and it's going to make sure that we're putting the ads in front of the right candidates. Natural language processing, if you've heard the term NLP, this is another great way that AI assists with job targeting, because AI can parse job descriptions and resumes much more effectively. It's beyond keyword filters, because NLP allows AI to understand context. And what that means is, for example, AI will be able to differentiate that software engineer and developer may be equivalents. Or it's basically what allows AI to know that Python is a programming language and not a snake. So NLP is instrumental in terms of targeting our core candidate audiences. And lastly, one of the ways that it helps is as we are recruiting, so every campaign, every search, every hire is going to make the system smarter. So AI can help refine targeting over time so that ultimately recruiters are left with pipelines that become more and more accurate. So once you've targeted your candidate pool, you're going to need to consider your personal outreach or your engagement strategy. And AI can help with that too. Let's talk about the magic behind personalized outreach. So personalized outreach is basically where recruiting moves from a very transactional function to more relationship driven. This is also an area where AI can really help supercharge recruiters without making them sound like they're robots. So really at its core, this is about making a candidate feel seen or making them feel like they are uniquely valued. You're telling this candidate, I want you, not just I want any candidate who has these skills. And really, when you make a candidate feel desired in a unique way and make them feel special, they're much more likely to respond, even if they're not an active job search, when they don't feel like they're just another name on this recruiter's list. So when you're considering personalized outreach, there are 5 main elements that will help you become more successful. Relevance, context, timing, tone, and value. These are the core elements of personalized outreach. And let's talk about each. Relevance. This basically makes sure that your messaging is speaking to the right candidates. So you're speaking to their skills and their role and their aspirations. So you're showing this person that what I've got to say to you is relevant. Second is context. And this is where we're referencing their experience or recent work or industry trends that they're posting about that we know that they care about. This is going to show that we're actually talking to this candidate specifically. And we're using contextual references that let them know that you're the person that we need to be talking to. Timing is the third, and that is making sure that we're reaching out to candidates when they might be more likely to respond. So career anniversaries. If there are layoffs in that person's company or in that industry, it might be a time where they're a little bit more amenable to hearing what you've got to say. Market shifts. All of these can help us to figure out if this is the right time to contact this candidate. If someone's just started a job 2 months ago, probably they're not looking unless they're miserable. But someone who cyclically seems to change jobs every 2 to 4 years, who is now on their 4th year of employment with their current employer, might be a good time to tap that person. The fourth element of personalized outreach is tone. And this is making sure that, again, you don't sound like a robot, making sure that your communication is human and conversational and approachable. In all studies, anthropomorphic chatbots, which are chatbots that exhibit some sort of human element or behavior, they always do better in terms of client and customer satisfaction ratings. So people want to feel like they're being approached by a human. So make sure that you've got your human touch when you're doing outreach. And finally, value. This is where we're showing the candidate what's in it for them, and not just, well, I need to fill this data engineer position, because they don't care about that. That's your problem. But what's in it for them? Showing, is there an opportunity for growth in this organization or in this role? Is there alignment with this person's values? More and more, we're looking at a workforce that is very mission driven. So if you see that they are very green or sustainability focused, and this company exhibits those values, this might be a great, it might be a great way to lead in to that outreach. So when you incorporate these core elements, it turns outreach from feeling like it's spam into an invitation to have a conversation. And because conversations are often best between people, this is one area where I say AI should not replace the human touch. AI should be designed in terms of recruiting functionality to scale and enhance our human capabilities. So when it comes to making that first contact, I always say, let it be with the person. So just my 2 cents. But here are a few ways that AI assists in actually personalizing your outreach. Number 1, candidate insights are available to us at scale. So there are AI tools that can analyze a candidate's resume, their LinkedIn profile, any sort of publications or social media activity. So this is one way we can kind of compile insights on a candidate very quickly instead of having to do that manually. The next way AI can assist with personalizing outreach is by creating dynamic message suggestions. So again, AI can draft a personalized template that references past employers or career achievements or specific skills that that candidate has. And then the recruiter goes back and kind of takes the general message idea and then tweaks the tone to add elements of authenticity so it feels more one-on-one, and so that it doesn't feel like ChatGPT wrote it. The next way that AI can assist with personalizing outreach is by offering segmentation and persona building capabilities. So what that means is AI takes, again, that 1,000 applicant pool, and it can group candidates by skill clusters, or engagement style or career stage. So that instead of creating 1,000 personalized outreach sequences, recruiters can then tailor outreach sequences based on the segment or a persona. And then group those candidates together and then do outreach that's maybe 50 at a time, where it does feel in some way a bit more personalized to that audience. Another way AI can assist with personalizing outreach is, again, showing us what the optimal timing looks like. So this is, again, using predictive analytics to figure out how we can identify candidates who are more likely to respond. So again, industry layoffs, people who are updating their profiles or starting to follow a bunch of different company pages. These are going to be indications that that person might be a bit more of a captive audience than someone who was just hired a month ago. Another way that AI can assist with personalizing outreach is multi-channel orchestration. And basically, this is where AI can help the recruiter choose whether to reach out via LinkedIn email or email or text message, or whether we should use a targeted ad. And it's all based on historical data showing where this type of candidate might be most active, or historically where they have responded to our inquiries in the past. And the last way that AI can assist us in personalizing outreach is by offering A/B testing or continuous improvement capabilities. And basically what this means is AI can track your open or reply rates and then learn which messages really resonate with the audiences. And then we can fine-tune our outreach strategies to reflect the strategies that have historically performed really well. So when you're crafting your outreach strategy, you can also use AI to leverage job market data to create very strategic campaigns. So this is where AI shifts recruiting from reactive to a more proactive marketing strategy. So when a recruiter is crafting an outreach strategy, AI can take raw job market data, so supply and demand, competitor hiring behaviors or salary trends, or again, recent layoffs or industry layoffs. Basically, you use that job market data and transform that into a very strategic campaign that's going to attract the right candidates at the right time. So several ways that AI uses job market data to shape outreach campaigns. Number one, identifying supply and demand gaps. So AI has the capability of analyzing which skills are scarce and which are abundant in the market. So this helps recruiters to design outreach campaigns that highlight unique employer benefits, especially when talent is scarce. When the talent is scarce, you don't want to be deleted by that limited pool. So you really have to figure out ways to be extra engaging, and to make sure that the few talented folks with that skill set are actually opening up your emails. The next way we can leverage job market data to shape our outreach is using salary and compensation benchmarking. AI can now analyze real-time compensation data from job postings, from surveys, from Glassdoor reporting, candidate profiles, and then recruiters can tailor messaging around competitive pay, or if the salary range being offered we're finding is not so competitive, that's when you're going to want to hone in instead on the unique perks that this company might be offering. This can also really help in structuring your conversations with the hiring managers. If they think that they can absolutely hire an A-plus candidate at 100K for this skill set, and you're seeing from the market data that high end of the spectrum is more like 150, it gives us some leverage to have a conversation with those hiring teams and to level set expectations there. It can also help because if we see that market pay for data engineers in New York City just jumped up 12%, we know that we need to modify our campaigns if we're coming in under where the market range sits. So again, it's about making sure that we are setting proper expectations. The third way that we can use job market data in our outreach campaign is by using geographic and remote work trends. So this is basically where AI is analyzing regional hiring trends or candidate mobility and showing us as recruiters where we need to target campaigns. So AI, for example, if they reveal that there are a huge number of healthcare data analysts, but they're all clustered in Chicago and Boston for some reason, that will let the recruiter know that we need to run geo-targeted ads and concentrate our LinkedIn outreach in those areas because there's a higher probability that we'll find candidates there. We can also leverage competitor insights. So AI can analyze which of our competitors are hiring, what volume, what sort of roles are being prioritized in their hiring. And then that provides recruiters with some insights that can help them time their outreach. So it's looking at, again, candidates who are coming from companies where there are mass layoffs, or if there is a company that was just acquired, there's going to be a lot of restructuring there, or even companies where we're seeing heavy recruiting activity. Okay, there might be signs that there's a toxic culture brewing over there. So it helps for recruiters to see competitor insights because we might be able to go in and target in on that talent. So if we see that Amazon's been cyclically laying off their cloud teams, well, then that might be a great place for recruiters to start their outreach campaigns if they're targeting those professionals. We can also use, in terms of job market data, we can also use engagement style segmentation. So basically, this is AI analyzing which types of candidates respond to emails, which respond to text messaging, to in-mails, to programmatic advertising or career site content. And basically, this can help recruiters to figure out how they need to diversify their campaigns. They might use programmatic ads for passive candidates, and then they might use personalized in-mail for high-value profiles. But it's showing us where we should be spending our time or focusing our outreach. Another way that we can use job market data is looking again at predictive campaign timing. So AI going back in and using that historical data analysis to spot when candidates for certain roles or industries are most active in their job search. So graduation cycles, looking at post-bonus season. So for example, if AI predicts that most financial analysts switch jobs after Q1, after they've been paid out their bonuses, then our strategy might be to begin our campaign go live in February or March after everybody's been paid out. So these outreach campaigns can be scheduled to launch when the candidate openness is going to be at its highest rates. And finally, the next way that we can use job market data is in message optimization. So using AI, we can analyze open rates, response rates, certain phrasing that's really resonated in past campaigns. And this helps recruiters to kind of tailor their subject lines or their tone or call to action and mirror the candidate preferences. So if, for example, if we see that AI is showing us that career growth hooks have historically outperformed compensation hooks, then we can modify our messaging accordingly. So when you're looking at all the different ways that AI can help you create more strategic and more data-driven approaches to your recruiting strategy, I'm sure you're seeing the value in AI integration. But wow, right? Where do you start? So final segment is really just going to be us discussing some very simple ways that you can start automating your own recruitment process. So the first is automate your job post distribution. You can use a tool like Workable or Greenhouse or Zoho Recruit. Those are just a few. Or leverage a programmatic job advertising platform like Appcast or Jovio or PandoLogic. And basically, instead of manually posting on 10 different job boards, your automation tool is going to push that job description out to all of the job boards where you want it to land with a click. The next thing you can do is set up automated resume parsing. Many applicant tracking systems now have this functionality built in. If yours doesn't, I beg you to do some demos because there are some great applicant tracking systems that have this functionality built in. Recruit CRM is one of them. Top Echelon or Lever or other parsing tools. But basically what this does is it automatically extracts candidate details from the resumes. And this is going to save your recruiting teams hours and hours of manual data entry. And if you make it easier for them to create the candidate profile in your applicant tracking system, it's going to ensure that you have searchable talent records and many more of them at your disposal in a tool that you're already paying for. The next way that we can leverage AI is screening with AI chatbots or questionnaires. So automating that pre-screening Q&A can save so much time for your team because this means you can use a chatbot or even just a simple knockout form to really look at who your true viable candidate pool is. So taking candidates and having them self-qualify on things like availability and salary expectations, or making sure that they've got must-have skills before your recruiting team is spending time engaging those candidates on one-on-one calls. Automated candidate ranking. You can use AI tools like Hire Easy or Find Them or Eightfold to rank resumes against a job requirement so that your recruiters can focus first on the highest scoring candidates. Another quick and easy implementation, and one I could not live without, is calendar and interview scheduling. So your team can use scheduling tools like Calendly or GoodTime or Paradox Olivia and eliminate all of that email ping pong on just getting a time locked in on the calendar. So candidates can go right in to a tool that is synced with your calendar. They pick an interview slot directly from your calendar, and it's effortless. The next way I would advocate for automating your process is looking at email and outreach sequences. You can actually set up automated but personalized outreach sequences using tools like Gem or Lemlist. I know for sure Lemlist will allow for you to do A/B testing too, which is great. So an example here is basically coming up with a three-step follow-up cadence, where day 1 is the initial outreach. Day 3, they might get a reminder. Day 7, there's a closing message, and all of that is running automatically. The next way is nurturing your own existing talent pool. So using your applicant tracking system or your CRM or using an email drip campaign to really make sure that the talent that you've already attracted is kept warm and that they still have your company name in mind. So you can do this with monthly newsletters or job alerts, something like this, where basically you're still a familiar name and you're feeling, and the candidates are still feeling like there's a relationship there. And finally, AI can really assist with leveraging reporting dashboards. So many applicant tracking systems already have this capability baked in. It's just something where, for whatever reason, people still find themselves manually creating spreadsheet reporting. Let your applicant tracking system automate that for you. It can automate recruiting metrics like time to fill, your source of hire, your cost per hire. And really, again, most applicant tracking systems generate these dashboards automatically. So ensuring that you're making, simplifying, I guess, that your team's ability to use the applicant tracking system. If they're using it well, your reporting is only going to be that much more effective. And if they're using the applicant tracking system efficiently, that can all be done by a click of a button. So in closing, I guess my pro tip is just start small, scale fast, talk to your recruiting team about what sort of repetitive tasks they're spending time on that they would love to offload, like scheduling, like resume screening, or screening out huge candidate pools by using a knockout form or a chatbot. Automate that first. Start with one task. Let them see the value that automation has created for them. And then once you get buy-in, you're going to get an audience that's much less reluctant to implement AI into their daily workflows. And then you can layer in additional automation like nurture campaigns or using an AI-driven sourcing tool. There's some great ones out there, Seek Out, Juicebox. I mean, there are some fantastic tools, but again, they're not worth what you pay if nobody's using them. So convincing your team that there's value in AI is that's always going to be, as far as I'm concerned, the first step. So that is all I have today. I'm sorry I went over, Javi, but hopefully everybody found some value in the information that was provided.
Yeah, Debbie, thank you so much. That was amazing. I think you covered so much. Everybody has taken something valuable from the session today. And yeah, do you have any closing remarks? Anything else for the audience?
Really, my closing remark is just that your goal with automation should not be to replace your recruiters. I can't emphasize this much. I mean, everyone's talking about automating their entire HR workflow. And as much as I love automation and as easy as it's made my life, I would steer clear from that philosophy. The goal of AI should really be to free your recruiters from repetitive and time-intensive tasks, administrative tasks, so that they can spend more time actually creating value and establishing meaningful relationships with the candidate pools who will, if not become your future applicants, they may become sources of referrals because they like what you're creating in terms of the vibe. You cannot automate human touch. That's one thing that will always be unique to the individual. So use it as a tool to enhance your team, not to replace it.
Awesome, Devi. I couldn't agree more. Well, all right, that's it for the session today, guys, as well. And don't forget to follow us on social media to stay updated on our upcoming LinkedIn Live events and other collaborations with Debbie and other exciting news. So all of these links are in the chat right now for everyone to explore. All right, thank you so much, Debbie.
And Shavi, I will say this, if you had questions that my blabbermouth didn't allow for you to ask, please connect with me on LinkedIn, and I am happy to have one-on-one conversations with anyone in the audience that has questions but didn't have an opportunity to ask them today.
Yes, yes, of course, totally. I've dropped the Debbie's LinkedIn profile link in the chat, and anybody can connect with her anytime. All right,
Mm.
awesome, Debbie. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for everyone for joining us today. Thank you. Bye bye.